today we're going to be talking about femininity and just like exploring all of that. I personally was always on the masculine side, so I was like, I'm trying to explore that side and understand really what it means, what it takes, and like, yeah, all of that. So let's talk about that, and maybe like I will be talking about other topics as well, because these episodes are always going to be random. So with that being said, welcome to another episode of Melo Merezco. I'm super excited about this one. I haven't done one in a while, so I don't know what's going to come up. But with that being said, don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, share, because that supports the podcast. And my goal this month is 200, and I haven't been doing the work. So I hope we can still get there at some point with a video that I put out. Because I'm trying to connect more with the episodes of, like, what topic do I really want to talk about? Or what is it that, like, flows? And with a more bigger intention. And right now, what I've been working on is femininity. As you could tell, I'm wearing these earrings, and I've never ever worn earrings. Like, I guess I'm starting the episode. I gotta say, but like, just let's start the episode. But yeah, I've been I went to a crystal shop recently, and maybe like a week and a half ago, 2 weeks, and because I needed to buy a sphere, like a crystal sphere. So I was like, okay, let's go. And then I saw these earrings, and I was like, I kind of want to explore that part of like, I for me, when I think about femininity is like someone like who dress up like really well, who like the confidence in their, when they're like in their presence, right? Cuando están ahí, that you could feel the vibe, you could feel the energy of like confianza en sí misma. And part of that, I think sometimes is also like how you dress. I think dressing up can definitely give you that like that confidence boost. And for me, I feel like earrings is also a big part of it. And one other reason why I wanted to explore that part of like earrings is because I've never worn an earring. Like, I had like a phase in like middle school, but I've never really wore the earrings. I was like obsessed with the earrings, but I never really wore them. And then like high school, I never wore earrings. It was like I never ever wore earrings. And then and I mentioned it before in I think previous or the last 2 episodes, where I bought earrings for the first time in years, and I started wearing them in Black Friday, so like November-ish, early December. And it's been now like 6 months that I've been wearing earrings. It's been the same earrings, but I feel like it's definitely like, again, something that wasn't part of my identity. It wasn't part of something that I would do or will wear. And then this month, how you guys know is like, or if you've watched previous episodes, I'm in a mentorship, and specifically it's connected with like La Cultura Maya, where it's connected to Nahuales, and like each Nahual you have we have 9 Nahuales, and each of them represents something specifically. And for me, this month every month for this mentorship, every month we're working with our Nahual. And this one specifically is a Nahual de Nacimiento, and mine is 12-ish. And it's so interesting how things work. I think I'll talk about that too as well. But 12-ish is represented by un jaguar, a jaguar, and then it's also like la magia, la belleza, lo salvaje. And it's really interesting because I feel like all of that kind of represents me, and it's definitely part of me of like, I feel like there's certain things like la belleza part of things I definitely never really connected with, but definitely this like wild free spirit, which is also connected to my horoscope, which is like Sagittarius, where it's like this free spirit that wants to travel, wants to explore the world, always looking for something more than just this like this reality that we live in, right? So all of that is really, really interesting, like connecting it, the horoscope side with like this like this different perspective. Oh yeah, as I was saying, so all of this is like really interesting, and this one specifically, I bought the earrings, and kind of like coincidental because I wasn't really planning on doing so. But part of me was like, okay, I'm working on my femininity side. I want to wear like these earrings. I feel like they kind of like will represent this part of like, or this transition, or this like wanting to explore the side of me. And at the beginning, I didn't really like them. I was like, yeah, I don't know if they look good on me. I don't know. Like, I don't know if I like them. But I kind of like started kind of like feeling, that confidence, like that. Like, I could wear whatever I want and I look good, or I will feel good. So I think that's pretty cool. And even today, I decided to wear eyeliner, which I haven't done in years, like literally years. And it's really nice to be able to explore that part of me. I feel and I guess I could talk about I did a carta natal session with Pau. Hi Pau, if you're like watching. But she, it's really interesting what she does, because like she reads your pretty much like your horoscope, how do you say that in English? Well, carta natal. And then another cool thing that she does is that she connects it with plants, right? She has a lot of knowledge about specific plants, and if you didn't know, we could all have connections with plants, and we could kind of like talk with their spirits, but like not like talk, like not have a conversation, but more like telepathically, or like the feeling and the sensations and whatnot. So for me, that was really interesting. So I decided to book that session with her, and that was in the beginning of the month. And the whole point is like she reads your carta natal, but then we also choose a plan that will acompañarme for the rest of the month. And the plan that she gave me 5 options, but the plan that really connected was with Artemisa, also known as Mugwort, also known as, I forgot what the other name was, but Artemisa, Mugwort in English. And it's such a cool experience, or it's such an interesting experience, because literally in my backyard I have Artemisa, and it's like that for me. That's kind of like a sign, like plants and I was thinking with quesadillas. The synchronicities in life, were like I'm learning about the whole femininity side of things, el gozo, like how to literally enjoy things and be present, and like just be able to feel and be like, oh, yes. So all of that. Then in that session, she also mentioned that like one of my big things that I have to learn is enjoying things, is gozando. It's being in the present moment. It's the femininity side. It's the feminine, the ancestral side of things, in the feminine part, where it's like learning how to love myself, learning how to know my worth, learning all these things that many of my ancestors, my female ancestors, my woman, the feminine side of my ancestors, weren't really able to connect with, because they kind of like had to like take control of things, like sacrifice themselves, and all these things that we could see, and that lead them more into their masculine side rather than their feminine side, which it could always be a balance of things, but they were definitely more in their masculine side of things, of like just materializando and just like doing, and never on the thing of like, okay, but we could allow ourselves to receive, or we could feel good, or we could know our worth, and like using that part like to actually get what we want, instead of like the sacrifice and like tengo que hacer esto y blah 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 y tengo que, instead of like, no, merezco esto, merezco recibir, merezco tener la vida que yo deseo, merezco tener una pareja que quiero, que me ama, que me gusta, hacer cosas que yo quiero hacer. And all of that, it's really interesting to kind of have to literally like learn about all these things of like, how does a good relationship look like with myself, with my partner, with family. Do I know my worth? Like, what is my worth? How valuable do I think I am, of like receiving things, of receiving miracles, or receiving a connection, and being able to talk with God, or like having these conversations where like, am I worthy of these things, or worthy of like of the abundance or the life that I want? And I for a very long time, and I still struggle with this. That's why I want to go to therapy, and that's why I'm like working on all these things. That's why I went into the mentorship, because yo todavía no me la creo. I still don't believe that it's possible for me. I feel like there's something blocked, where it's like I don't know what's going on, or I feel like there's just something that's stopping me from seeing my worth and seeing my potential of like what I can accomplish, and I keep self-sabotaging, which is one of the reasons why I haven't really posted on YouTube, why I stopped posting on what's it called, on social media. I recently put out some video, or like the beginning of the month, I put before the month started, I posted some videos of like me what's it called, marketing and promoting a vision board event, and I was really excited because I was like fuck it, let's do this thing, like we got this, and like si pasa algo, si no pasa algo, like it's okay, at least like, you know, we did the work of like sharing it. I was really excited because like a day before the event, I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea what I was doing, but I was able to get like 10 people to join the WhatsApp group so that we could do the vision board. And I was really excited. I was like, oh my god, like 10 people are like actually like join, and it's like something can actually happen, right? And they seem excited. Like, at least in the messages, they seem excited. So I'm like, yes, like type of vibes. And I was like, I was excited and I was nervous, but I was like, okay, like let's keep going. And the day comes of like choosing the day. We like, okay, Saturday night. I'm like, I'm sending in the group chat like, this is what we need. I kind of like sending the information of like what's gonna happen. And the day of, it was literally Saturday night, and I'm like, I'm going into the Zoom. I open the thing, and it's like, it's 8 o'clock, nobody goes in. It's 8:05, nobody goes in. It's 8:10, nobody goes in. It's 8:15, nobody goes in. And I'm like in the group chat like, oh, if anybody wants to join, like we like, you can still join, like no worries. And nobody joined, and it was such a like, for me it was like kind of embarrassing, and then it was also like disappointment, and then it's like, see, nobody wants to like join. But in the moment, like I also understand like this is part, like even though like these thoughts come in or come up and they're trying to put you down, I also understand that it's part of the process. It did like, technically it did like put me down, but at the moment I chose to keep going. And I remembered, I believe it was Lewis House, but I'm pretty sure it has to happen to a lot of people where they, at least specifically from what I remember from Lewis House, is like he did a webinar when he was just starting out, and nobody joined, and he was like, okay, I'm just gonna pretend as if people are here, and he did the presentation, and that's exactly what I did as well. I was okay, nobody joined, it's okay. How would we have done this? Because I also like barely practice, or I was just gonna go with the flow. And that's also because one of the things I'm learning about mentorship is like, sometimes you don't really need to like explore side things. Like sometimes like if you're like really connected and like could read the room type of thing, which I think might be really hard for a lot of us, but I really wanted to try that experience. So I was like, okay, nobody's here, let's join. And I was like, okay, I started recording because I also wanted to see how I presented. So I literally started, hi, welcome everybody to, thank you for being here. I first want something like gratitude first. Like I want to thank everybody for showing up. I really appreciate it. This means a lot to me. And then I just started. And then I was asking like the questions that I would have asked of like, oh, like what are your goals? What are your intentions? What do you think could be your obstacles? And then I just answered those questions myself and pretended as, after I was done, I pretended, oh, like, does anybody, like, who else would like to share? And then, like, pretending to give advice. And then I'm like a crazy person, just like myself there. And then afterwards, I was like, okay, like, we're going to start the meditation. I did the screen share. I was like, okay, I really like this guided meditation from, I forgot her name. But like I really like her guided meditation, like the visualization thing, and I'll send you guys the link and whatnot, and yeah. So I did the whole guided meditation for like it was like a 15-minute video or meditation, and then afterwards I was like, okay, like how do you guys feel, blah blah blah, and talking a bit about the meditation, and like and then afterwards, okay, like we're gonna start our vision board. Just like I did like little what's it called like notes. Like I kind of share notes of like, okay, like if you want this and if you don't have the Canva but you want this in the phone wallpaper, then like I got you, like no worries, just send me the thing and I'll try to like resize it, or I'll try to like what's it called, pretty much like resize it so it could be as a phone wallpaper and whatnot. And then and then I ended it. I was like, thank you everybody, blah blah blah, and and that was it. But it's so fucking crazy because at the moment I was like proud of myself for not giving up, or just like at that moment not like putting myself down, or like, oh fuck, like nobody joined, and it's like fuck, like I put myself out there and like nobody joined, and I was like, what the heck. But thankfully I didn't do that. Thankfully I was like, okay, what can we do? What is the solution? And it was also more embarrassing because I told my friend, I told my mom, and then afterwards when they asked me like, oh, like, how did it go? And I'm like, nobody joined. Nobody joined, but I pretended that there were people there. And yeah, so that was really cool. But now now that I look back, it definitely did hit me in the sense of like I automatically self-sabotage by not posting more videos, by not posting on YouTube, and that's like really annoying too. And I kind of want to share that experience as well too, because like for those of us who are starting out and who have no guidance at all, it's really interesting to kind of see like, man, you really have to figure it out. And there's a lot of like marketing, there's a lot of like branding, there's a lot of like how to post better videos, and then there's also yourself of like, do you really think this is worth it? And being connected with yourself, with God, with the universe, of like, I deserve this, merezco esto, amazing things are gonna happen, and then like for you to be able to receive it. Another thing that I thought about when I was doing that whole thing, after I was done, I was like, okay, maybe this is like not a test, but of seeing if you're really committed to this, of like wanting to do certain things, like events like this, of like sometimes you're not gonna get anybody, and like if you keep choosing to keep going, like maybe like this is the path, like maybe this is your thing, and maybe I will do another event. Like comment down below if you want to, but and I'll send the group chat, the link to the group chat. But I don't know, I feel like for me right now, even because I really don't know what I want to do with my life and like what can I offer, like qué es lo que puedo ofrecer, it's really hard for me. So it's like just following my curiosity, like, oh, a vision board event, like, oh, maybe I could do like a guided meditation, or like 30 days of meditation or something like that. I don't know, but it's like whatever idea comes up, is like try to see how can I put it into reality. And yeah, so I think part of that is also like the femininity side of like no esforzándome, of like I could just receive, to being confident with what I want to accomplish, and also like feeling the confidence, like right now with like my this, and then my eyeliner and my earrings, and like just like being able to like dress up a bit more, like, and wearing shorts. I'm literally wearing shorts, and I talked about this like in the previous episodes, where like I've never worn shorts before, and even I stopped for a while. I usually just wear like gym shorts, so they're like the long ones, and all of that, like exploring that side of myself, like of also gozando, like enjoying an ice cream, or enjoying a food, and being more present with family, or being more present with like whatever it is I'm doing. Even with these episodes, it's like there's times where it's like I want to be present, I want to enjoy these episodes, but then there's like times where I'm like, fuck, I'm like, what am I saying? Is this even worth it, or is this valuable? But at the end of the day, like, it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't fucking matter, because it's helping me. Like, one, me estoy desahogando. Two, I'm like sharing my experience. Two, I'm sharing the lessons of like what I'm learning. And I think that's the whole point, because we think like that things are simple, or like, oh, that things are easy. And as much as there's always going to be obstacles, So it's how do we, from what perspective are we seeing the things when things do go wrong, when things don't go the way that we go, but doesn't mean that we're not gonna get to where we want to get, or where we want to be. And that all of this is part of the process. The believing yourself, and then not believing yourself, having the confidence, and then not having the confidence, and then having the confidence again, and then like feeling super motivated one day and feeling super depressed another day, and it's like it's all part of the process. And I used to believe, and I've mentioned this before as well, where like I used to think that like being happy was a goal, like being happy and like every single day being happy was a goal, and and I keep forgetting that sometimes, and then I keep reminding myself like, no, it's actually, you choose happiness, but there's always going to be times where you do feel sad, when you feel angry, when you feel frustrated, and that's okay. Te puedes acompañar in those sentimientos as well. You could accompany, how do you say that word, accompany yourself when you're feeling those things, those feelings, and to not deny them, to not reject them, and just like being there for them, being there for yourself when you do have those feelings, right? Because sometimes we don't want to feel those negative emotions, but it's all of that is normal, and I'm really trying to understand that. And it's like, okay, I feel sad, like what do I need, what does my body need? Okay, we could give them like a massage, like put some oil, or we could dance, and in the mentorship and in the mentorship, we have to dance every single day to a song that we like, and literally just going with the flow of things, the movement. And it's really interesting because they also send their videos, and it's crazy how through a dance you could see the energy that one has, because with like your caderas, right, with your hips, if you're like really in your masculine, or you're really like disconnected with your body, you can see how tight your hips are, and your dance projects that, and therefore you see that you need help, or not help, but you need to connect more with your body, you need to like relax your hips more. And that's the whole part of like the femininity side of like your hips, your vientre, your all of that area, because a lot of us have like shut that down, or disconnected from that, or disconnected from our whole body. And all of that is el gozo, es el placer, it's disfrutando, it's that, you know, that's that sexual energy, where it's like it's also connected to creativity and creación, and like and creating, right? So when you're disconnected with all of that, it's like we're not connected with ourselves, we're completely disconnected. So all of that is really important, specifically for women, especially for us who have like I believe it's like el útero. So you know, all of that is really important for us, because then like for men it might be different, I don't know, like she doesn't really talk about that. It's mostly like her space is mostly for women, and specifically in this mentorship it's all women. So it's that's what I'm being done, and I really connect, because then with which is it's been so interesting, because like I mentioned before, I've been working with this like for quite a while now, where like I started to learn like kind of how to work. But that part of that journey was really so I could connect more with my hips, with my movement, of like I could actually move and like enjoy, or enjoy the dance, of like not being so like tight, and like when I want to dance, I'm not like this. Instead I'm like, and it's so hard for me, don't get me wrong, it's probably gonna be hard for a lot of us, but it's that journey of like, okay, now I can move my hips, or like I think her name is Mar or Marina, I don't remember, but she does what's the name of that dance, so like where like they move their hips and whatnot, like Egyptian dance. I'm sorry, I completely forgot, but I tried like some of those classes, and it's really cool how now I can move my hips like from side to side, and or in a circular motion, when before I wasn't able to do that. And even with the classes, with the mentorship that I'm in, there's like women who talk about like I can't even move my hips, I can't coordinate the movement of like my hip, because there's this thing that we had to do where we had to like move our hands like this, and like moving our hips like back and like front and back at the same time. And there's this like lady who was talking about how I literally couldn't concentrate on anything besides like trying to connect and with the movement of moving my hands and moving my hips, because I just wasn't able to coordinate, and that literally took me a couple of days for me to like being able to do those movements together. And sometimes we don't think of how disconnected we are, but like movements like dance and or like twerking or moving just literally moving our hips, it's so important. And we don't realize how connected all of that is to our feminine energy, to our creativity, to creating, to receiving, to all that part of what it means to being a woman, or being connected with our femininity side. So dancing has been a really important thing, and I love dancing, and I mentioned it before, but I'm really bad at dancing, again, because I'm like very tight on the movements. Like, I don't know how to move. When I dance cumbia, I can't go with the flow, and it's like, what the heck? But it's like practice. So those are little things that I've been doing to connect more with my femininity side. And with the plan, when I'm going back to the session that I did with Pau, we talked about plans, and it's so fucking cool. I mentioned a bit of like Artemisa, and Artemisa, it's also connected with the god Artemis, something like that, where she's like the goddess of like, I think it's like the wild, the wild, come on, the huntress, like the female part side of it, and like connecting with the animals. Like, she protects the animals in the wild, and she's a really good hunter. I don't know, but it's like this wild side, this femininity side, where it's not this like princess type of archetype. It's more like this like confident and like ruthless and yeah, this like badass woman, where, I mean, all, like, again, they're all badass in like in their own way, but this one's like this more like dominant, or more like independent type of thing. And so it's really interesting that I chose this plan this month specifically, where I'm trying to learn more about all these things, and just like being able to drink the tea, and like seeing the sensations and the emotions that come up. And like, the emotions that literally have come up again is like my self-worth, my self-love, of like the feeling that I'm still like really disconnected, and that I want to do more, that I want to create more, I want to have more experiences, I want to travel more. And it's like, I feel like I'm stuck in something where like I don't know what to do, and it's like, and I don't mean to complain, I swear I don't mean, but it's part of this journey of like trying to figure things out. Like, what's the next step? Like, what's the next step, so that I don't continue in this bubble, or in this energy of like, I feel like caged in, or I feel like I'm limiting myself or blocking myself from what could happen. And it's all about acompañándome in all these emotions. I'm not judging myself. I understand where they're coming from, and it's like, okay, but what, it's being part of one of those things, like being in silence and being able to like acompañarme and like see what comes up, and then two is like seeing, okay, what can we do? And right now I really want to start sending more messages to do more interviews for the podcast. I'm really excited about that. I feel like I let that go because I'm scared of like connecting with people, or like sharing just like literally just sharing, or it's like seeing what could happen, that whole self-sabotage thing. And I'm really excited to go back to interviews, because at the end of the day, I want to connect with amazing individuals who, again, are authentically themselves. And that doesn't mean like they have everything figured out. It's like, I'm choosing the life that I want to live, and even with all the obstacles, like, I wouldn't change it for the world. And choosing this experience, choosing this life, has brought so many miracles and so many beautiful experiences that I wouldn't trade for the world. And that's what I want to hear. Like, I want to hear how people are gozando their vida, even with like everything that's going on, all this like political stuff and whatnot. It's like they still choose. They choose what they can. They choose what they can. Yeah, they choose what they can control, and therefore like they're gozando their vida with like it's like putting and like boundaries with energetically, not being like there's a lot of bad in this world, but that doesn't mean we have to feel that badness in this world. Like you can still choose to live a good life, and like if you could do certain things like donate or like talk about certain topics and being able to remind people like, okay, like this is still going on, what can we do, and like doing something about it instead of feeling and being stuck in that spiral of negativity, then that's how we could do things differently. But yeah, I feel like I talk about a lot of things in this podcast or in this episode, or all over the place like always. But that's just me trying to practice my going with the flow, whatever comes out, and really what I've been working on these past couple of weeks, and I'm really excited to see how things turn out. I know I'm still scared of what to do, what are the next steps, but at the end of the day, I'm still working on myself, like the confidence part, the reminding myself that I am worth it, que me lo merezco, que nosotros lo merecemos, and it's just that little voice where it just wants to stop you from doing certain things. And the little things count as well, like literally celebrating those moments. Like me buying these earrings was a huge accomplishment for myself. Deciding to wear eyeliner today was a big accomplishment for myself, because it's like I'm feeling myself. I'm like I feel like when I say that it sounds so wrong, but I'm feeling the vibes of like I feel good today. I feel good. I feel really good, and I don't want things to like, let's use this energy for good. Like, let's create a podcast an episode today, and like see what comes out. And I think that's the beauty of things, like just being able to do the things that come out when you're inspired, and like, being able to take action. And like that's what I'm doing right now, because if I don't remind myself of this, it's like I could go another week, another 2 weeks, another 3 weeks, another month of like not doing anything, and it's like, who is that gonna help? And even right now, I'm really excited because I want to, like, if it's right, if it's what's meant to be, I really want to manifest a job in an apothecary, and specifically, I would love to work in what's the name? Anima Mundi Apothecary in I'm like looking for my phone. It's like right there. It's recording. But it's such a pretty and awesome apothecary in Brooklyn. They have one in Soho, and they have one in California in Venice Beach. I think that's where Venice Beach is. But I went recently because I had to buy Artemisa, and I didn't know where to get it, and then Bob recommended me that store, and because I didn't know like where to go, I was like, I have to go to New York. Let's go to New York. And it was such a really nice place. It's a really cool place, and yeah, I would love to work there, just like learn about plants, learn about like herbal medicine, learn about oils, and yeah, I think it will be a really cool experience. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to mention. It's still a lot of like work in progress. It's still trying not to be stuck in that negativity. And don't get me wrong, like even when I tend to see a lot of bad, or like how things aren't working out, but this past weekend, the last weekend I've been more present, and because of that, I've been bonding more with family. Of like literally, it was this weekend we filled up the little pool for my nephew, and then everybody like got wet. Like my brother put my mom in the pool, and then like everybody like started getting. Then we had the hose, and everybody was like hosing, and it was such a nice, like beautiful, like family moment. And it's like moments like that where I'm really grateful. Another thing too is like I'm thinking of moving back to New York, and it's like I don't know, because I see it here. It's like it's more peaceful, it's more relaxed, and like I could literally be in the backyard and like record an episode. Maybe I got bothered like once, but like get out of here. And then New York, it's like it's such a like hustle mentality. It's such a like disconnected from our own bodies, and I really don't want to go back there and like be part of that again, or like yeah, like connect to that again. But I think it'll be different. I don't know, if I get the job, or a job in an apothecary, I think I will definitely think about it. So if you live in New York and you know about an apothecary, let me know, because I would love to work there. And yeah, this is a lot of things, and it's a lot of things, a lot of changes that are more like maybe like physical, because like I'm wearing earrings and like trying to dress up a bit better. But it's also like a lot of mindset stuff that I'm working on. Therapy, I'm gonna have another therapy session in 2 weeks. So like, yeah, I'm just like I'm trying to level up, man, and I don't know how to do it, and I need help, and I'm asking for help, and I'm getting the help. So that's really exciting. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's asking for help when you need it. It's knowing that you can't figure everything by yourself. Like, as first gens, we're literally figuring everything out. Most of us are figuring everything out of like how to have better relationships, how to communicate better, how to love yourself, how to choose yourself, how to receive, and then also how to create a business or how to create content. And we're all figuring things out, like how to create a better podcast. Like all of these things we're all figuring out, and unfortunately we don't have the resources nor the mentors to like help us out, and or maybe we just have to ask, I don't know. But at the end of the day, all of this is a figuring things out. But like how Marie I won't say Marie Kondo, but it's not Marie Forleo, I think. It's like everything is figure outable, and right now for me it's keep posting. Literally keep posting and sharing the story, sharing the struggle, sharing the wins, sharing all of that, because at the end of the day, all of this is also a win of like choosing to keep going, choosing to create an episode, choosing to like dress up today, choosing all of those things that help me be more connected, help me be more grounded, help me continue to like leading me to kind of where I want to go. And yeah, so I hope this inspires you a bit and really to remind you that you keep going. There was this there's this post where I saw where it was like, if you're like scared of choosing what you want to do, and you choose to live that mediocre life, pretty much, of like you're angry, you're frustrated, you're like tired of the same thing, but you keep choosing that, then why wouldn't you choose the thing of like, even though it's scary, even though there might be obstacles, like you're choosing a different path, you're choosing a better path, you're choosing the life that you want to live. And even though that might take time, that might take work, and it's scary and all of that, like why would you want to waste your life in the first part of like of being in conformarte on the things that you don't want, instead of like challenging yourself and trying to see where you can end up by choosing the scary thing, and choosing the scary thing that you know that will give you joy, that will give you that like a purpose, literally a purpose. So I definitely reflect on that, like which life would you prefer to choose, or keep on choosing, or choose differently, right? It's like, and that whole thing of like day one, or one day, or day one. So it's like, it's all about choice at the end of the day. And I keep choosing to go to the life that I want to go, and I don't know when I'm gonna get there. I don't know how it's gonna work out. I don't know what Andrea in the future is gonna do differently so that we could end up there. But I'm choosing to live my life differently. I choose to live the life to go towards the life I want to live, which therefore means I'm choosing differently every single day, or trying to choose differently. And I hope, again, this inspires you. I'm super excited. I know that I was a bit in a funk this past week and a half, but I think I'm back. Especially these episodes like make me like, even though maybe it may not feel like I'm like, yes, let's keep going. That's how I feel internally, and it definitely helps me be more energized, and helps me kind of like, that's how I got it, man. It's like, okay, all those feelings that we had, they're gone, or like we worked them out, and it's like we're good now. We're good, and we're gonna keep going. So yeah. Sorry that I might like repeat the same thing over and over again. That's I learned that from my dad. But yeah, I'm excited. I hope to see you in future episodes. Definitely comment, like, share, subscribe. Cause that's of course the podcast. We're trying to hit 200 episodes, 200 subscribers. So that will really, really help out. But subscribe because you want to. Subscribe because you don't like it. Subscribe porque whatever reason, just subscribe because I would really, really appreciate it. And yeah, with that being said, have an amazing, beautiful day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.